Welcome to Kondele School of Politics. This is the political headlines of this country. And today we are talking about, as the title suggests, impeachment of Deputy Governor Oyugi Magwanga. That is Homa Bay Deputy Governor Oyugi Magwanga. It has not yet been announced, but it is something that is in the pipeline. Let us trace back to the two leaders, Honorable Oyugi Magwanga and Gladys Wanga, that is currently the Deputy Governor and Governor respectively. Now, the year 2013, when Gladys Wanga was first elected as the woman representative for Homa Bay County, she exhibited some kind of traits that were not exhibited by other ladies or women who were elected in the same capacity. This is the leader who could mobilize funds and build markets, could mobilize funds and pay school fees for some vulnerable children. And she did so many things. And as a matter of that, she set a foot as one of the future leaders of Homa Bay County. Initially, the two leaders were very close. And I remember back in the year 2015, during the nomination of the ODM leaders, the ODM grassroots elections of regional leaders, Gladys Wanga and Oyugi Magwanga were one thing. They were in the same team. And that team, their main opponents was a team that was led by the then governor of Homa Bay, Cyprian Awiti, and Opondo Kaluma. They were two different camps, and it was messy. It was terrible. By then, Gladys Wanga was elected as the chair of, in 2015, she was elected as the chair of ODM, Homa Bay County, while Oyugi Magwanga was the secretary. Opondo Kaluma was the deputy, I think was the deputy chair of the Orange Party, between Oyugi Magwanga and Hamilton Orata, who was then the deputy governor, Cyprian Awiti's deputy. One of them was elected to be the deputy of ODM party in Homa Bay County. In 2017, the two leaders were together. In fact, prior to nominations, Gladys Wanga was supporting Oyugi Magwanga as the potential candidate or as the potential governor who would inherit Cyprian Awiti. Remember, Cyprian Awiti was portrayed as a leader who was not pro-development. Actually, he did a lot of things, but they were never covered in the media. So in 2017, after nomination and through dubious means or through other ways that we understand, the Orange Party in Nyanza region, and this is not only to Orange Party, but also to other parties in the regions where they are considered to be enjoying the political hegemony. The two leaders were together, and they broke up in 2017 when the ODM party then decided to issue certificate to Cyprian Awiti to defend his seat, while Oyugi Magwanga opted to go for the to go for the independent ticket. And they went, and it was a bruising campaign. The two leaders campaigned in all the areas. They never left anything to chance. In the end, Oyugi Magwanga lost. He went to court, and the court also upheld the success of Cyprian Awiti in the same seat. Now, fast forward to 2022. Oyugi Magwanga is one of the leaders who is seen as a potential inheritor of the seat, that is the gubernatorial seat of Homa Bay, as the potential successor of Cyprian Awiti. So Oyugi Magwanga comes, starts campaigning, gets back to ODM, gets into good book with the then party leader, the late Raila Odinga, may he rest in peace. And the things went on as they were. So, for fear of subjecting Gladys Wanga and Oyugi Magwanga to a political duel, in order to fight for the Orange Party ticket, they decided to organize for a conference or a closed door meeting where they resolved, although Oyugi Magwanga registered his reservations, but he registered his reservations, but later on accepted to be the running mate or the deputy governor of Gladys Wanga on ODM ticket. You remember that also brought some problems, because you remember people like Evans Kidero had shown interest in the gubernatorial seat. They as well, they were all eyeing the ODM seat, the ODM ticket. But it didn't work. So Evans Kidero went for another ticket, while Oyugi Magwanga and Gladys Wanga flew the ODM ticket. It was not rosy. You would see the tension even when they were campaigning together. After they were elected, there was a lot of that. So fast forward, after the 2022 general election victory against Evans Kidero, fast forward now, Raila is dead. And even before Raila's death, there were some echoes of murmurs of discontent. Murmurs of discontent from Oyugi Magwanga's side, saying there are times when there are some goons who blocked him from accessing his office. And it took some leaders like Oburu Oginga to go and quell the misunderstanding that was arising between them. So this tells us that the marriage between Gladys Wanga, the political marriage between Gladys Wanga and Oyugi Magwanga, it had never been sanctioned mutually. It was a political marriage that was bound to break any time. You know, there are some relationships that you and I understand that they can never go beyond some certain levels. So this was that particular kind of arrangement. Why am I talking about Oyugi Magwanga's impeachment? After the death of Ongondowere, who was the arch-rival of Oyugi Magwanga in Kasipul, remember, Ongondowere was the first leader to say the world or the ground has spoken. In the Luo they say, Piny osewuoyo. The ground has spoken, and the governor of Homa Bay is none other than Gladys Wanga. That was the first person to declare Wanga's candidature among the citizens of Kasipul. Kasipul is vote rich compared, you remember it was hived from the former Kasipul Kabondo constituency. Now there are two, Kabondo Kasipul and Kasipul constituency. So those are areas that are known to have huge number of votes. So after the death of Ongondowere, this was a rival of Oyugi Magwanga. And it came a time when Magwanga claimed that even his donation towards the burial, the funding of the burial of Ongondowere, the donation was returned. That will tell you the kind of relationship that was existing between the two leaders. In fact, the two leaders were not seeing eye to eye. And for the first time when they went against each other, back in those days, it was political violence between the two leaders. Now, here we have the heir, or the heir apparent to the kingdom of Kasipul, if we may say, or the prince of Kasipul, that is Boydwere, coming out to inherit the shoes of his father, and Gladys Wanga openly campaigning for him, to an extent that he gets the ODM ticket via the nominations. Of course, many people murmured that the nominations were not right, but that is not for us to discuss whether it was transparent, verifiable, or transparent. That one remains with the investigative bodies that is within the party of ODM. So right now, Gladys Wanga, in this speech that I want you to listen to in the next few seconds.
Omiombe kora wuok majela dwa pidho rasta koro sani. Rasta ema kora dwa pidho, kora wuotho go e kore ka. Ng'ama ok dwa tich inje.
From that speech, Gladys Wanga says that she is now going to pounce. Wole Soyinka says, a tiger does not need to shout his tigritude. A tiger pounces. So Gladys Wanga has pounced. First, by suspending or dismissing Oyugi Magwanga, who, other than being the deputy governor, was the county executive committee member in charge of agriculture, livestock, and agriculture, irrigation, and livestock development, something of that sort. That docket was under the office of Oyugi Magwanga. So the first thing that Gladys Wanga has done is to suspend or to dismiss him from that portfolio. This is just meant to test the waters. Is it possible that Oyugi Magwanga can be impeached? And if he is impeached, what are the political repercussions? That is the measurement that Governor Gladys Wanga is trying to measure currently. So, let's come to it. Is it possible that Governor Gladys Wanga is planning to introduce a censure motion against her deputy, Oyugi Magwanga? That is something that is in the pipeline. We don't know. It has not yet been done. We don't know what Gladys Wanga is thinking. But at Kondele School of Politics, we are allowed to speculate. And that is what is going to take place. A censure motion that is going to take Deputy Governor Oyugi Magwanga out of office. But there is an impediment. You remember when Orengo and some leaders within CIA introduced a censure motion against the deputy, Dr. William Oduol, it was the first thing that was done. He was suspended from the ODM party. Then immediately, the censure motion was introduced at the county assembly. And within no time, the county assembly had given the green light that Dr. Oduol had to go. And some of the accusations that were leveled against him included buying a seat worth 1 million Kenya shillings. So, is this going to be the same thing in Homa Bay? Yes and no. Yes, because after firing Oyugi Magwanga from the seat of the county executive committee in charge of agriculture, Gladys Wanga has tested the waters and has seen there is no much political backlash that she cannot control from Oyugi Magwanga. She is clinging on the argument that Oyugi Magwanga has gone against the party by supporting Philip Aroko, who was going against the ODM candidate in Kasipul constituency in the recently concluded by-elections. That is a reason that the ODM lovers will buy. And she will ride on that, and subsequently, Oyugi Magwanga will be impeached. No, the answer to that may be no, because we don't know what the Senate thinks about. Does ODM stand a chance of rallying all the senators who are the required threshold to pass or to okay the censure motion against Oyugi Magwanga? There may be arguments that Oyugi Magwanga is a leader, Oyugi Magwanga is a resident of Homa Bay County, Oyugi Magwanga is a voter in Kasipul, and he has a right to choose the leader he wants as Oyugi Magwanga, not as the deputy governor, but as Oyugi Magwanga. Bearing in mind that the history that he bears with the predecessor of the current MP of Kasipul, the Senate may understand him. What other reason will Gladys Wanga and some Homa Bay leaders have to put on the censure motion that will allow it to pass through at the Senate? I think this may be a tall order. If there are other things that Oyugi Magwanga has done, something like gross misconduct, or something like sabotaging the governor, or something like embezzling funds, or something like misusing of office in one way or the other, those are some of the reasons that will lead to an impeachment passing through the Senate. You have seen the senators, the governors who have been impeached. The reasons they have been impeached may not be voting contrary to the party that sponsored them to the current elective positions that they are having. Kondele School of Politics is here to take you step by step and highlight some of the things that are underlying. We look forward to engaging much with you on this channel. We believe it is a channel that will help shape the politics of this country. Until then, I remain Kasim Mwalimu Adinasi, and this is Kondele School of Politics.